what about the ecological context and paleo-environment of the Upper Paleolithic cultures? These sites or find spots are dispersed in desert grassland, in woodland savanna, in scrub woodland, in thorny thicket zones. Several species of game or animals have been found from here, that is, the remains of these animals have been found from here, like nilgai, chinkara, four-horned antelope, sambar, chital, barking deer, wild boar, etc. Remains of many of these species were found in late Pleistocene deposits and are closely associated with Upper Paleolithic occupations in Kurlul caves. Fossil evidence of many other species are also found. Now, although recent dates have pushed back the antiquity of these cultures beyond the terminal Pleistocene, some lithic industries placed in this time period have also been called Upper Paleolithic. What is the terminal Pleistocene? Again, as I just had mentioned before, intense glaciation in the high latitudes and extreme aridity and low sea levels throughout the world. In India, such evidence has been found from present-day arid as well as subhumid zones. In fact, we have found such evidence of terminal Pleistocene from a subhumid zone like northwestern Midnapur, where a multidisciplinary work was carried out in this river valley called the Tara-Feni River Valley. Scholars have looked at human adaptation, often incorporating ethnographic studies on present-day hunter-gatherers. Now, obvious question again would be, how do we trace the continuity of hunting-gathering tradition? We are not tracing the continuity. This is one thing that I would like all of you to remember. We are using ethnographic work as a kind of heuristic device, as a tool to gain insight into past adaptation patterns. Now, what are the recent trends of research? Now, the classificatory schemes that I mentioned above are basically based on technical studies of finished tools. All those pictures that I showed you are basically the end products of a reduction procedure. What is a reduction procedure? The entire manufacturing process of stone tools. It is difficult to assign separate cultural labels on the basis of morphological characteristics or stratigraphic contexts. This is what is coming out in recent research. They are also looking at the nature of raw material because they feel that is determining the nature of tool type rather than just the morphological characteristics, and they feel that we have to look at the entire reduction procedure. We also have to remember that in Indian context, the blade using tradition has a very wide time range. Cultural traditions overlap, and this is seen particularly in blade technology. Therefore, Upper Paleolithic tradition cannot always be classified into neat categories. Like I mentioned, that some microlithic industries, they might be just put into Mesolithic culture and not in Upper Paleolithic culture. Okay? So this is something that we have to remember.